how would you define nationalism, white nationalism, and what are the dangers of this rising global tide of nationalism?
I think that white nationalism has borrowed from the left the kind of framing of identity politics, and so instead of simply saying, well, we're the majority that are setting the rules, they project themselves as being victims. We're the victims of these elites that are putting the interests of minorities and women and gays and lesbians ahead of us, and we are simply trying to claim an equal role. The fact is, for most of these white nationalists, they're not simply trying to be treated equally. They actually want to recover the kind of privileges that they had in an earlier period. And I think what's quite disturbing right now is that they're beginning to recognize one another and work with each other internationally. I think the headquarters for this movement is really Moscow, but you get people like Steve Bannon, who had been Trump's early on advisor, that's actively jetting around the world trying to get all of these populist groups to talk to one another and see themselves as a commonly aggrieved minority, which I think is a very dangerous international phenomenon.
Does it pose a danger, or is it just merely an expression of political expression? Does it really pose a danger to society and the broader?
I think that the rise of this kind of populist nationalism does pose a genuine threat to liberal democracy, not to democracy, but to the liberal part of liberal democracy, meaning the constitutional order, because many of these new nationalists really don't like institutions. They don't like courts, they don't like an independent media, they don't like anything that stands in the way of their agenda. And you see this in Trump himself, who has attacked the media, the courts, the legislature, and impartial bureaucracy because they're not doing his bidding. And I think this is true in Italy, it's true in Hungary, it's true in Poland. Anywhere where one of these populist governments has come to power, there's been an institutional erosion.